Dave, thanks for joining us. A bad result for you, a bad afternoon. How badly has that affected everything that you're trying to do?
Yeah. Listen, there's some defeats. Some results are more important than others, and that's a really important one that's not gone our way.
Did you think you deserved to get anything out of the game?
Well, when you concede certainly two terrible goals and a third goal that's a foul, the fourth official shouting foul and all that kind of stuff, but you concede 3 goals, 2 of them terribly, then you don't deserve to win anything. It's as simple as that. You know, we scored right in half time, we're going, and for the first 15-20 minutes of the second half, they hadn't even got it out of their half. But the first time they do, they put a ball in the box and they score. And then after that, they went down with a whimper. And it's like, come on, this is it. You know. And then that's the most disappointing thing, because up to that point in the second half, we were by far the better team. We missed a couple of good chances before they scored the second goal. And yes, goals change games, but it didn't need to have the effect on the players that it did. And if they'd have carried on playing like they had done for that first 15-20 minutes of that second half, then you know they'd have certainly got back in the game. They'd have probably gone on to win the game, but they didn't. And then, like I say, the third goal is the nail in the coffin. Is
it finally coming home? Unfortunately, the mentality is just dwindling away from how many games they're losing. Like you say, you got back at 1-1, then had a spell, but once you went 2-1 down, it seems like it just collapsed.
Yeah, well, you know, first half there was. We thought they were going to play a different way, they didn't. And it's like, well, they've played a different system, so, you know, just amend. And we have to get them in at half time to tell them, and trying to get messages on during the first half, and then they come out and they play some good stuff. Again, on a tricky pitch, but that's not the reason win or lose. So then when the goal goes in, it's like, go on, keep doing what you've just done for the last 15-20 minutes. Keep doing that, because you're on top. Don't get me wrong, I think it's the third time on the trot that the opposition have made 2 substitutes changes and they've both scored. They certainly did at Sunderland. The substitute scored against Bolton, one of them. You know, so that sort of shows up where we're at as well. You know, and the effect that can have. So, you know, when you put it all in the mix, it's a disastrous defeat.
It is. You're exactly right, because it makes it even harder, doesn't it? I think it's now 12 points when you spoke, didn't we? You know, it could be down to 6, but it's gone the opposite way.
Yeah, we all knew the magnitude of the result today. Made it abundantly clear to the players, and some of them either were lucky to not perform today, which I don't buy into, or couldn't handle the occasion. Is it a big crowd? Is it a big occasion? Well, not particularly. There's no pressure from me in that sense. It's like, go and play football, go and enjoy it, go and run around, and be a good player, show what you're good at. And, you know, for 20 minutes in that second half, we did that. Other than that, I thought first half there was nothing really in the game. But then the last, whatever it was, 20 minutes, half an hour, it shows up what you've just alluded to.
It's become an horrendous home results, hasn't it?
Yeah.
8 on the spin that you've lost.
Yeah. There's no getting around that fact, is there?
Is it? Again, we talked about fear, but is that coming into it when they might just go that goal behind? Do you think all of a sudden they go in a shell or two?
Well, I think you've got to have character. You've got to have courage. Forget confidence or anything like that. Do you want to get on the ball? You know, when your mate's on the ball, do you want to get the ball off him? Do you want to play football, or do you want to just not have the ball? Well, you're on the pitch, so you've got to get the ball. You've got to want the ball. You've got to be able to run around. You've got to trust your mate. And some of them, you know, it must be creeping into them. It must be. You can't lose 8 on the spin. That's not random luck, is it?
Goals have come quite easy, haven't they, for the opposition? You'll be disappointed that it becomes that easy.
I said to them, we work on defensive shape, and you go to Sunderland and you look really good and compact and should be 3 up before they've scored on counter-attacks and transitions, but we're not, and we lose the game. Then you work on attacking play and they forget how to defend. It's like, well, 2 weeks ago when we were working on that, did you not remember that? And look, that's all part of their learning. It's all part, you know, we've still got a lot of young kids, and they are inconsistent by nature. And listen, we've got to stick with them. It's as simple as that. We've got to pick them up off the canvas and say, right, come on. You know, you can be good. You've shown you're good. You've got to be more consistent at it. But we've got to drag it out of them. They've got to drag it out of themselves, and we've got to make sure that the next 6 games doesn't become a foregone conclusion.